Hey guys, Baz86 here, doing another review on Tekken 7. So, Tekken 7, well, if you know me as a person, you will know that I am a big fan of the Tekken series. Now, Tekken has been going since uh, the early years of in the 1990s, I believe, when the first Tekken ever came out, which was called just Tekken, Tekken 1. The story behind Tekken is it's a made up Chinese tournament where fighters go against each other to win a a massive tournament, which I at this moment in time I cannot remember what it's called. Um, yeah. Anyway, so Tekken has been going on since 1990s, 1980s, somewhere around there. And they've made 7 of them since then. And now we're in 2020. And Tekken 7 came out in 2018, 19, something like that. So yeah, this is a review of Tekken 7. Now, I'll show you what the game is all about and what it involves. It is a fighting game. So this is your menu screen. This is where you begin, and you have your main menu, which is your story. You have your story, which in all Tekkens there is a story to this fighting game. It's not just a fighting game. There is an story onto it. You have your online, which is your PvPs. Again, is your death matches. Well, in this sense, 1v1s only, as well as tournaments. You do tournaments as well against many players out there, against the world, and your friends if you find them. You got offline, which has its own branch, which you play against AIs in arcade battles, treasure battles, versus battles, or practice mode. Then you have a new thing, which is replays and tips, which allows you to the game saves your online data of all your online matches, whether you win or lose, and stores them in your replays and tips, so you can watch your match back, wonder where you went wrong, and see it again and learn from it. You've got your customization, which you have your character customization and you have your player customization. Your player customization being you. So you customize you, and you customize your profile, you customize the way you want the screen to look when you're fighting, and so on. You got your jukebox, which you have background music in the back of all the Tekken music that has been ever appeared in a Tekken game. You got your gallery of all the videos and everything that you collect through the story and through doing certain matches. You got your options, you got your player information, you got your PlayStation Store, and for the first time ever in a Tekken game, you got VR mode. But I will say this, it's not highly requested. Not really. It's not the greatest. So just so you know, don't get your hopes up that you were hoping to get into a fight in the eyes of a Tekken character, because that does not happen. Believe me, I've tried it from personal experience, it's not highly rated. Okay, let's jump in and I'll go into practice mode. So, you're first given the choice of whether you want to be on the left hand side or the right hand side. Some players will decide to go on the right hand side because that's how they've learned, or some people will go on the left hand side. In this sense, I attack from the left. I can attack from the right, but I just prefer the left hand side. Okay, this is your character's select screen. Alright, so in previous streams I've explained where these characters originate from. I've explained a little bit of their background, and I've shown their story as well. But just to go through them again, you have Gangru, you have Safina, you have Julia, Marduk, Anna, Geese, Eliza, Noctis, Lei, Armor King, Negan, Leroy, Fakumram, Kuma, Lee, Jack 7, Lin Xiaoyu, Lara's, Lily, Lucky Chloe, Kazumi, Heihachi, Kasuya, Akuma, Shaheen, Law, Harang, Dragonoff, Yotsumitsu, Nina, Master Raven, Miguel, Bob, Brian, King, Steve, Paul, Josie, Katarina, Jin, Devil Jin, Kaludo, Gigas, Askuya, Elisa, Leo, Fang, Eddie, and Panda. And that gives you a total of nearly a 50 choice roster. 50 character roster, nearly. Yeah, 49 characters. That's a heck of a lot of characters in a game. Nearly, like I said, nearly 50. We put one more in, we got 50 characters in a roster. So, I'll pick a random one. Okay, I have no idea who I'm gonna get, and we'll just press square and see what happens. I mean X. Devil Jin. And we'll go customization again, just so I'm not favorizing any characters. Just press X again. There you go. Devil Jin versus Yotsumitsu. So, we now have a map selector of which map we want to go to, or which background we want. Now we've got a choice of 27 maps with 49 characters. I can only select I only select 22 because I haven't got the DLC. I haven't got the DLC maps. But I can select 22, which is still good. And I'm going to select one of my favourite maps. No, you know what? I'll just go randomised again. So I'm not favourising which map I like. It doesn't really matter, but just for the sake of this review, I'll just randomise it. There you go, Dragon's Nest. So to get a little bit of an intense thing again, bit of an intro screen, get ready for the next battle. Devil Jin versus Yotsumitsu. Tells you their rage art and their rage drive. I'll explain that in a bit. So, this is your screen. So you've got Devil Jin on the left and Yotsumitsu on the right. Now, let's press options. Press options on your pad. If you're on PS4, press whatever you play on Xbox. So you can do a number of things while you're in practice mode. You can have your CPU do all those things. Any of those things you want him to do, he can do. You can get your CPU opponent action to do other things as well. Alright, so you don't always have to have them do one action, you can make them do multiple actions. Your ground techniques, it's not set, but you can get them to do whatever you want. You get them side quick recovery, back, whatever you're working to train on. And on stand up, you just get them to wake up or whatever, just whatever you're training. You've got punishment training, set us up for punishment moves. You can reset anything that you've made and you don't like it, you can reset it back to the default. You got your move list for your character. You got your sample combos, which for new Tekken players, they can just jump in and do sample combos if they want. You got your controller setup, which if you don't know the controls, you just look at it. I'll actually show you that. The controls are there. You can have type A's, type B's, type C's, whatever works for you. You got your simple select, which if you don't like the characters you have and you want to select someone else, you just go simple select and you'll get this screen here and you just pick whatever character you want from whatever. You got your save select and you got your character select and you got your return to main menu. So here we go. So you've got you've got your buttons, you got your you can use the left stick to move if you prefer, but for a game like this you would normally pick your D-pad. Your D-pad would be what you normally use. You can strafe like that by pressing the up D-pad and jump like so. That's how you use the corners to jump either to the back or to the front. And to crouch, you use down. You can move while crouched. You move forward, but you can't move back. You move forward. You can dodge like that. You go up. You can run in this game. So if you go all the way back or as far as you can, there is invisible walls. You can only go a certain distance. And then to run, you double tap. So you just keep tapping to run. Alright, to attack, press square to punch. Square is your punch like so. Triangle is another punch. You can combo those, square and triangle. And then your circle's your high kick. And X is standard kick. You can use that, you can press down. If you use the D-pad and the buttons, you can press up and X to jump. You can press up and jump and up to kick. Like so. You can also attack when strafing, just like in For Honor. So if you do that, you can do that and circle, like that next, that square. You can also do it. So you can also do a combination. So if you use your thumb, you can put your thumb over two buttons. So if you do triangle and square, it will do. If you combine like that, you can do more powerful attack. And that's your rage art, which I do mean to do. So your rage art is your special move. It's a special move that all characters have that is unique to them. As it showed in the start, it shows what your rage art is. Now, as you can see, I'm on the wrong side of this character, so to get to the other side, I can't jump over him, I can go round him, but I'm still on the same side. So to get on the other side, I can do a grab. And to grab, press triangle and circle together, and I grab like so, and he does that. That's not me pressing any buttons, that's just how you grab. So, like I said, you can combo things. So if you press square, square and triangle, that's your basic combo. Square, square, triangle. Square, square, triangle. That's a basic combo. And then you got square, square, circle. Square, triangle, circle. Square, triangle, circle. Another basic combo. Square. You can just run across or move across the buttons by doing it. Square, triangle, circle. I can do it without looking. Square, triangle, circle. I know I'm doing something. Then you can do combos while connecting. It gets a little bit more advanced, but you can do it while connecting or combining inputs with the D-pad. So if I press back and forward, if I press back and forward, if it works, I can't. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, this one isn't working at the moment, sorry. Alright, another thing I can do is I can use unique attacks with the character I have. So Devil Jin, for example, has a laser beam. Now, how I use it is given to the moveset. So if I check the moveset, I look at the different movesets that Devil Jin has, and all these are movesets that he has. So if I wanted to, let's say, fly, I would put in circle and X, and I'd fly. Now, he only flies for a little bit, but he can fly, because he can use the wing. And the laser, he can use by doing a certain combo, putting in a certain input. So if I want to do number 40, which is Hellfire Blast, as you can see, I have to go with the D-pad. I go to the top right, hold it, and then press triangle, square, and triangle. And this is what happened. So I just used my laser, and it's only unique with Devil Jin. All I did was I held back and up, and triangle and square. Like so. Now, he does have different ways of using his beam. So that's that way. Another way he can use his beam is if you press and hold up and the right D-pad, and then triangle and square again, and I'll go into the air. Like so. So that is at the person, and that is above him. And if I wanted to attack on the floor, which I can't do it right now because the character isn't on the floor, sometimes it cannot work because the person isn't in the right position. But I can show you that if I make my opponent lie down. So if I say what can I get him to do? I don't want him to do any of those. Right, if I just tell him to crouch, I just need him to lie down. So if I get him down on the floor like so, there you go. So, he's on the floor. There you go, I can do that on the ground by pressing down and triangle and square. Right, so you've got that. Now, as you can see, I have red coming off both characters. Now red, just so you see, you have 4 different menu screens up at the top. You have your action settings, you have your restart settings, you have your display settings, like so, what you want up, what you don't want up, your command history, your health gauge, all that sort of stuff. You turn them all off if you choose, it's your call. Or you have your other settings. Now your other settings is where the player age comes into. If I turn it off, my characters look like that. They just look normal. They don't look upset, they don't look mad, they don't have red coming on them. Now if I put player rage on both, you can see the difference. My players now have player rage. And player rage is where, let's show you, if I put moveset and I go up to the top, you have rage art and you have rage drive. Now rage drive can only be used once, and it's a special attack that can only be used when you have rage. Rage art is a very, very special move that you can again only use once. Once it's used, that's it. You can't use it again. But this is what rage art you would use when your opponent is at the end, nearly about to KO, nearly about to, that's it, about to give up. I don't want to say die, because he wouldn't die, but he gives up. So that's when you would use it, when you would want to win the game. Or you would use rage drive to use it just as your opponent is near that stage of about to give up. So if I put in the rage drive, so I've got to try and do the action. If I don't know the action or I forget it, I can put it in game. So now I know that when I do it, it will. If it doesn't do it, I can get it to do it for me. But it's not a. It's not a move I would tend to use. So what I'll do is I'll get it to play it itself. There we go. So I don't know why I can't do that move. There you go. So now I know how to do it. Again, I'll use that to help me get back onto this side. Now, I'll do my rage drive, or my rage art. So I'll make sure I take that out of game, do that, and then I'll use my rage art. Now I know exactly what my rage art is, so I use what it tells me, which is back and triangle and square. I hold back and I press triangle and square, and I do my rage art, which, as you can see on screen, is a move that is completely left up to the character. I can't put any inputs, I can't press anything, and that is my rage art, and I usually use that at the end. So let's go into an actual match. So enough practicing, we've done practice, and we'll go into offline. Now, versus battle is only against another player, as in local player who is sitting right next to you. You can't do it against CPUs. Yes, I can press that, but I can't press player 2 because I don't have another controller. So versus game is only for one player versus 2 player. So I need to come out of it. So if I just want to get into it, I'll press treasure battle. Now treasure battle is against an AI, and it's 2 rounds. So again, for this review, I'll just go random again, and I'll press X, and I'll decide what character I'm going to be. Again, I don't have a clue. I'm not favoritism or favoriting a character. Paul Phoenix. There we go. So it's looking for a random AI to give me. Don't know who it is. Got no clue. Waiting for the match to start. There we go. We got a promotion match straight away. That was completely random, as you saw. And of course, it puts me up against this guy, a new character that's just been put into the game. Oh, the block, when the person's trying to attack you, you hold back. If you hold back, you can block. He does it again, which you should do. Oh, of course. Also, you've got difficulties. So if you go to, you can't do it here, but sometimes you have a chance to change the difficulty. I have it on very hard, which is the hardest difficulty there is. But you can start off as easy as you want, which is beginner style. You got amateur. You have semi-pro. You have easy, medium, hard, very hard, and then that's it, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. The victory poses at the end are completely random. I had no say in those whatsoever. I'll do 2 more, this one and 2 more, just to show you the game, and then I'll give you my score of what I think.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
With the music that you hear, you can either have that as whatever you want, or you can set it up to random. So every time you go into this map, you'd have a random song. But because I've got it set to just one, I play it over and over again every time I come into it, because it gets me fired up.
Round 2. Fight.
With that, I'm trying to psych him out. You have different ways of grabbing. You can either grab with square and X, you can grab with circle, triangle and circle by holding those two, or you can grab with putting in different inputs to grab other ways to create more damage. I'll do one more, and then I'll give you, like I said, I'll give you my scores of what I think of this game.
Round 1. Fight. KO. Round 2. Fight.
Give me strength. Punish!
You win.
So there you go. Hey Aaron, welcome to the stream, man. So, there you go. Let's end the stream, or end the battle, and I'll give you my thoughts of what I think of the game. So let's go with gameplay. Gameplay, I'll stick with a 9. Stick with a 9. Very good gameplay. Very quick to get a feel of it. If you haven't played Tekken before and you don't know how to play it, there is a way to just go in and tap buttons and do combos without actually worrying about the move list and things, which it gives beginners that option to do. So yeah, gameplay very fluent, very easy to pick up, very quick game way of picking up the game. So that's a 9 out of 10. I will go in, when I go into pros and cons, I explain what one thing I don't like about this, and I'll go into it later. Presentation, very good again, 9. I give it another 9. Looks great, characters look good, they look somewhat real, no pixelators, no, sun, again, lighting looks good, music sounds great, gives you customization you need to make the presentation and the feel of it a lot better. Very, very good. So my pros and cons: number 1, great game for returning Tekken fans to come and experience. Number 2, great Tekken game for beginners who never picked up a Tekken game and coming in, and they can feel as though they didn't have to go into the move set or the move list like I showed you earlier and go through all that. They can just do sample combos and sample buttons just to jump in and check that out. Number 3, got a great story to it. Again, another in-depth story to help with the past story. And even if you haven't played any of the previous Tekkens, the story catches up to speed of what's going on, and and so you don't have to go back to previous Tekkens to figure out what the story's all about. Yeah, so that's the 3 pros. The 3 cons that I have about the game: number 1, if you look, let me just show you, in the offline, there isn't much to choose from if you don't want to go online. There's only those 4 to choose from, which in previous you had more to choose from when you were offline to experience more of the game. But with this, they've only given you 4 options, which in my opinion, I wish they hadn't. And it looks as though it won't be changing anytime soon. Another con is I don't see what the point of Ultimate Tekken Bowl is. People ask for it because they enjoy the fact that you can go bowling with your characters, but it has nothing to do with fighting at all. Doesn't really give much of an experience. But if you want a fighting game, you want to fight. You don't want to do bowling. And number 3 is the VR mode. The VR mode is not great. Again, as I said in the beginning of the stream, as personal experience, I wouldn't get your hopes up and get yourself a VR and go and think that it's the greatest thing ever to game as a Tekken character, because it isn't. It just isn't. Hello, by the way, Jason's Smithonian Bros Life Crew. How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. I'm just doing reviews of the games that I have, and you've joined me doing a review of Tekken 7, going through the gameplay, the presentation, and the pros and cons of the game. So yeah, as I was saying, the third con is the VR mode. It isn't great. It doesn't give much experience to the game, and it's a bit laggy too. And also, even though you can look at it from different camera views, it can give you quite a headache, because it just can. You'd have to experience it yourself, and I can't show you because it'd take me a while to get the VR sorted. But just take my word for it, it's not that great, the VR. So my overall score for this game is not a 9 out of 10. My overall score for this game is a 7, and unfortunately what lets it down is the amount of selection you have for offline. The VR mode lets it down, and the fact that that Tekken Bowl on the end doesn't give much to the gameplay either. So with that being said, that's why I've given it a 7 out of 10. So with that being all said, I am going to end the review here. I hope you've enjoyed this short review on Tekken 7. If you like this game and you want to see actual gameplay of it, and me in the full swing of things when I actually play the game, I do have streams on my channel of me playing Tekken. So if you want to see it, it's on there. I don't do anything online. I do everything offline when it comes to Tekken. As you know, or as you may or may not know, I'm not a PvP player because I get too personal. I get enraged. I get angry, and I have issues when it comes to playing against other players. So because of that, I stay offline. I stay on offline. So that's why. But I hope this has been alright for you guys, and I'll see you in the next Baz86 reviews. Bye for now.